Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Jai. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Rama. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama. Rama 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 Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Suratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama, Rama 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 Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Rama 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 Rama, Rama 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 Rama, Rama 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 Rama. Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Ashram. This evening, we were given one more gift of grace to be able to sing in His powerful shrine and offer it at His feet. Every day, 24 hours we get in hand, and how we spend it is left to us. We have to make effort to remember His name, and that will be met with by grace, and that alone can take us near God. Now, Bhagwan has given us a wonderful prescription of His name, a name equipped with His power, grace, and presence. Let us remember, the minute we call out the name, He is instantly present. Whether you know it or not, whether you are aware of it or not, He is there. And He is aware of your thoughts, feelings, and prayers. And He does the needful. Now, when we chant His name, the vibrations produced by the name, how do they act upon our body, mind, intellect, and the spirit? To know all this, we need some background. We know that right at the center of the body, that is from the Adam's apple and from the navel. If you find the center, the distance between the navel and the Adam's apple, you find the center of this, and that is where the spiritual heart is seated. Now, this spiritual heart is hanging downward, surrounded by so many nadis, channels of energy, subtle channels of energy. It cannot be seen by human eye. Now, within this is Chitakash, the Chit Akash, meaning the pragya, the knowledge, or whatever you call it. The space there is like our physical Akash. Here it is an Akash which is full of consciousness. And within that is Pranagni, Pranan. Now when the divine, the pure awareness has only itself to be aware of, and nothing else at all. No creation, no sustenance, no destruction, nothing else. The one self, the one divinity, which is pure awareness. Now somehow there is an impulse, a pulsation in it to create. Now this pulsation, it becomes the throb of I consciousness in all of us, in all the creatures. The ant will have this throb of I consciousness. I am an ant. This I is there. A plant has this I consciousness. Everything in the universe has this pulsating I consciousness. And then it takes this I consciousness, it is the pulsation, it is movement. So this is called Parashakti. The pure awareness is called Shiva. The stillness is called Shiva. And out of Shiva comes this movement, the throb of the first I, the I consciousness, that I am the cosmic controller. I run the whole cosmos. Bhagwan used to say. This I is the throb, it's a pulsation, and this is in constant movement. It's called Parashakti. It's also called Paravani. Now, this Parashakti or Paravani, it takes the form of prana, the vital force, because it wants to create. Now it started its first movement, now it wants to create the whole cosmos. So what does it do? It manifests as prana, the vital force. That is its first manifestation. At the same time, on the one hand, it manifests as prana, on the other hand, it manifests as Shabda Brahman. The prana and pranav. The pranav is the primordial sound. It is the sound of the prana. Prana expresses itself as inhalation and exhalation in the creatures. You are aware of your own inhalation and exhalation. And behind this is this prana. And the primordial sound, Om, Pranav. Now when the prana takes the form of in-breath and the out-breath, the pranava, the sound, the primordial sound, takes the form of the sound of the in-breath and the out-breath. And that is, we know that when we inhale, it is accompanied by the sound hum. And when we exhale, we say sa, ha, like this. So it is saha. So together, and it's going on and on, 21,600 times a day. So it's hum, sa, hum, sa. So it is called the Hamsa, Hamsa mantra. It is happening all the time in us. And what does that mean? Saha. Saha means that in Sanskrit. Hum is a hum. So it means I am that. Without your knowing, your very in-breath and out-breath, your inhalation and exhalation, all the time is doing this japa, I am that, I am that, I am that, is going on inside you. To locate it and to become it is what is sadhana all about. Now what does it do when we chant? From the primordial Om, this Hamsa mantra has come, and this from the Hamsa, all other mantras. When there is no creation at all the sounds And all the pranas, the restless manifestation of the pranas, they are all there, the primary I consciousness, and they don't manifest, unmanifest. It's called the potential. Now it manifests as prapancha, as your in and out breath in the creatures. So this prana, from which the Hamsa mantra comes, it gives rise to all other mantras. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. These mantras all come from the Hamsa mantra. The Hamsa mantra comes from Om, the primordial sound. It's called Shabda Brahman. So you see, the sound has power. The mantra is a combination of sounds. Each letter has come from the throb of I consciousness, from Parashakti. Each letter, each akshara has come from Parashakti, who is the movement of Shiva, the stillness. So, every mantra has letters typical of the mantra, and each letter is empowered. Each letter carries a specific Shakti. So a combination of letters, a combination of aksharas has a power of its own. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Each letter of these mantras has power. So when you chant the mantra, your tongue is in contact with the mantra, the vibrations of the mantra, they mingle with the prana inside. And what does the prana do? I already told you the pranagni, when you eat food, this food goes to the pranagni first. And what does the pranagni do? It eats up the food, it consumes, and then sends it back to all parts of the body as heat. So the food gets converted into heat and the whole body is hot. Now when the prana leaves the body, there will be no more heat in the body and the body becomes very, very cold and it starts decay. So each mantra that you chant, when you chant Yogi Ramsuratkumar or Rama Rama Ram or Arunachala Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Each mantra has letters, aksharas, and each akshara is Shakti. That's why when you keep on chanting, 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 at one point you begin to see the mantra glowing. Each letter, each akshara of the mantra that you chant will begin to glow in golden color. It would begin to glitter like gold. The vibrations of the mantra that you chant, they go to prana. And what does the prana do with this mantra? It is energy, very high energy. It is the energy of the Supreme. So what does the prana do? The prana will distribute these vibrations to all parts of the body, just as it does distribute the food, the consumed food, the digested food, as heat to all parts of the body. So these vibrations, they go to the 7 dhatus of the body, and these vibrations, they begin to clean up the body. So the first job of any mantra that you chant from the tongue, from the lips, is to create vibrations that would be taken to all parts of the body. And what does it do? It cleans up. It cleanses the body. The more and more and more you chant, and with great love, with pure feeling, with intensity, more and more vibrations of power and energy will be distributed by the prana throughout your body. And what does it do? It cleanses. When it cleanses, no diseases can come anywhere near you. The body has to become pure, and even the body begins to glow. We call it tejas. Then if you continue to chant the name with more intensity now, with more pure feeling of love, it goes on to the next sheath. We all have 5 sheaths. sheaths. Sheath. The first sheath is your body, physical body, which depends only on the food intake. What food you take? It's annamaya. It is the body of the food, the physical body. And then I said, the indweller God manifests as prana, and this prana has its own body, its pranic body, and then the vibrations begin to purify the pranic sheath. When that is over, the vibrations will deepen, and by now you will begin to have visions, and you will begin to hear sounds also, such beautiful divine sounds. And then it goes on to clean, to cleanse your mind, which is a bundle of thoughts. You begin to get only sattvic thoughts. Your anger, fear, all the negativities of the body, mind will be gradually removed. The mind becomes sattvic. Once it is purified and you continue chanting, you deepen the chanting, it cleanses the layer of buddhi, the intellect, so that it will no more think up crooked ways. It will not twist anything, it will not misinterpret. This is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. And then what happens? Anandamaya Kosha. The 5th sheath is Anandamaya. And beyond that is the Turiya, the state of permanent peace and joy, bliss. Now, this much work will be done by the mantra that you chant. So you see how valuable it is. You can never underestimate the value of a mantra. All that you have to do is go on chanting and chanting and chanting with a deep longing for realization of the Supreme. O Lord, please reveal yourself to me. All I can do is repeat this mantra, even that without love, without any pure feeling. But you take me out of your love. You guide me, you lead me to yourself, to your revelations. So you keep praying and chanting and praying and chanting. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, among the yajnas, the fire sacrifice, I am the japa yajna. So it is Krishna's glory, Krishna's power. Japa has Krishna's power, Shiva's power, Yogi Ramsuratkumar's power, Narayana's power. The supreme power. So, knowing that the Nama purifies, cleanses all sheaths of the body, the being. And finally, when we reach this Anandamaya Kosha, then it is Samadhi. So that is why Bhagwan said, chanting the name is prayer, chanting the name is surrender, chanting the name is Samadhi. Chanting the name is Samadhi. So you just have to go on chanting. You don't have to pray, but all your priorities will be fulfilled. And you continue chanting and chanting and chanting, you will begin to accept everything as grace, and that will finally turn into complete surrender to the will of God. And what does it do in turn? You continue chanting, and then one day you just sit in one place and deep meditation happens, and then Samadhi. Such is the glory of the name. Especially the Guru given mantra is empowered by the Guru, by the Supreme. That's why Bhagwan says, not a single Nama goes waste. Every Nama does its work. Why? Every letter of every Nama, the divine name, is empowered, is Shakti. And a combination of these letters can cleanse faster than we think and elevate our mind to the highest. So with all this, let us keep on chanting the name and serve Bhagwan in all ways with joy. There must be joy in Nama chanting, there must be joy in Seva. And every karma that you do it chanting the name. And chanting the name adds life to the karma. And karma turns into dharma. So remember all this, and today, now we shall offer our prayer, today's prayer at the feet of Bhagwan. Because all that we can do is chant the name and beg. Beg that power of the name, that supreme power, which is now standing here in the form of the Murti with his raised hand in benediction. Bhagwan, we beg you for your divine intervention and immediate to free the entire world from the clutches of these viruses and their family, and bring back a dharmic normalcy in all aspects of life. We also beg you to uproot all the negativities of the mind, because they are the viruses of the mind. And you have always been doing Asuravada, the killing of the Rakshasas. Please kill all the negativities of our minds. And people who are already unselfish and are doing hard work for the sake of the others, people who find their happiness in the happiness of others, people who can put a smile upon the face of the others, please give them protection and all-round welfare. And we beg you for a boost to our economy. We beg, we pray and pray for incessant chanting of your name, unbroken remembrance of you. And we beg you to be fine instruments in your hands, not caught by Maya, so that we could run our everyday life as an offering to you. And Bhagwan, ultimately, we seek that Brahmananda, that pure state of Turiya, for which we need complete purification, so that we could see only your divine, vibrant, living, pulsating presence everywhere, in everything, and all the time. Please bless us to be able to see only your sankalpa in everything, only your will in all happenings of life. And most importantly, your hidden grace, your blessing in disguise in all the disastrous sufferings of life. Knowing that those sufferings have come from you as ordained by you for our spiritual growth, for our closer kinship with God, for our greater good, so that we can accept it as a blessing from you and be grateful to you for that. And Bhagwan, we beg for all the species of the cosmos, at whatever level of being they are, to be freed from that state of misery and be lifted to a higher plane. And ultimately, we beg you to free us from this vicious cycle of births and deaths, so that we could live eternally in you, the Supreme Eternal. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.